Alright, so this is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. Where in the world can a wind chime hang anywhere upside down in relationship to other wind chimes? Well, only in the imagination. That's where the spinning water sphere exists. Now, just moments ago, when I was going to go live, I want to show you that this peak of the roof was lined up just almost exactly there. Now that may not seem like a big deal, but because of the way that the sun moves above the stationary earth, it's in a perpetual state of consistent change. It's a celestial timepiece that's very precise. So one of the things that I'd like to show you is the water jug that I've been putting out for quite some time, and the reason for that is to get ultraviolet light in the water. It's part of the natural process. If it sounds new agey and crazy, well, too bad. It makes perfect sense. It's the reality of the world we live in. That's how it actually works. It's good for the water to do that, and it's good for the person drinking the water. So I've got the YouTube Truth mobile labeled up with thebible.com. Easy to see that, right? Of course. And so it's hard to find the truth for some, easier for others. So I'm going to take us down the road. I might only be able to have this broadcast for a couple of minutes. And before you go, keep in mind that in the link of this broadcast is my liked video playlist, almost 3,200 videos to consider, if you care to. Right towards the top of the list is The Great Culling. It's about water fluoridation. See how it sounds to my awake friends to hear medical professionals say that water fluoridation is good for your teeth. I was contacted by Facebook, and my post was taken down in YouTube Truth that talked about sunshine being healthier than vaccines. They considered that fake news. Imagine that. So they took it down. I may put that post out there, but what I want you to consider is the artificial intelligence that's creating a very deceived cybernetic collective, leveraging the technology I'm using right now. They're using it to deceive humanity with a false reality. And I got the cojones to let you know where I live and what my real name is. I'm at 169 Cloverleaf Drive. The ocean is right over there, where I drive many days. I've got a very happy mockingbird up here, and well, I want to show you the signs that I have. This is Cloverleaf Drive, right at the corner of Virginia Pine. Listen to him, he's all happy. The reason why I wanted to share that with you is simply because I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. If you'd like to reach out and call me, my phone number is 1-843-504-1776, and that number is public, and it's traceable, and it's identified to me personally. So that's one of the reasons why I put that out there, is because I can put it in a comment without it being immediately flagged as spam. If I hashtag a comment on a post, one of the problems is it goes to the spam folder for most video channels, as far as I know. I mean, there's a delay on mine. If somebody puts a hyperlink in a comment, it's going to go to an area where I get to look at it first. I've got the Apple Watch. I get notified like that when something's going on. Joni thought it was a waste of money. Oh, I don't need that. Well, can your watch do this? I mean, I don't even know all the features of it, but the point of it is I don't live my life to please others. And the truth isn't popular, and it isn't based on popular opinion, it just is. And that's something that I've been pondering for quite some time. Why do some people recognize the truth when it's right in front of them, and others are very blind to it? They're not able to see it. And it's not even an intellectual thing, although pride is a powerful catalyst for deception. With that being said, the way that I believe it works is that it's only by God's grace that anybody can love and believe the truth, let alone find it. It's time to go. So I just lock it in at the speed limit, because why would I do anything else? There's neurotransmitters that are released with procrastination, knowingly doing something that I believe I shouldn't do, all of that, or willingly obeying God to the best of my ability with His help. Now that's a powerful combination to do that. And hence that's where I, at the 26-minute mark of the Logan Paul mockumentary, that's where I weigh in. Now, Logan and I talked for probably 40 minutes or so. You can see the sound bites that he pulled out to actually add shock to the discussion. Well, that's okay. I don't mind. I mean, I tried pleasing others and that didn't work. I was somewhat of a people pleaser for my own benefit, though. It was a form of manipulation. Then when I directly lived a life to try and please myself, that didn't work well either. And that's when Logan said, "You mean masturbation?" I said, "Yeah." But the reality is a lot of people mentally cajole themselves. It's a form of mental masturbation where people choose to evidently believe the lie they want to believe. They're fooling themselves. And I was fooling myself too, and I was the loser for that. So I became a full-blown religious hypocrite in the early 80s, thinking I was actually born again. I was misrepresenting the creator of the world that we live in with a proclamation that I accepted Jesus as my Savior, and yeah, I did. I just didn't get the upgrade until 2014, shortly after Robin Williams committed suicide. And the reason why I mention that is because it's a big deal. I'm outing the pharmaceutical industry, the whole medical and military industrial complex, the artificial intelligence that's deceiving humanity with a false reality, leveraging portable worldwide communications systems and the computers that distribute that information. We're typically using this technology. Most of humanity is. So I've got a couple of videos that are going to be posted this morning. Sometimes I talk on my videos, sometimes I just let the beauty and majesty of creation do the talking. However, I do have a really important message to say, and that is to seek the truth with all your heart. If you want to have a channel you call Truth, and you want to put the videos together that you believe reflect what the reality and the truth actually is, by all means, go ahead and do it. If you want to send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Robert Forsch or YouTube Truth, I'd be happy to send you some of these, okay? And the reason why now, as nice as that is, you can just hashtag my name and it helps the rankings go up. That's one of the reasons why, as best I can tell, I'm the #1 Robert Forsch search in the world of like 8 billion people or so, maybe 7 billion, who knows exactly. These numbers that were given about how many billions of years the universe exploded and is perpetually expanding, They're making this stuff up. They don't know. By irony and paradox, we don't know what we don't know. When I was a small boy, 2.5 years old, I wanted my dad to take the training wheels off the two-wheel bicycle. He did. He said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, I just need you to get me started." So he gave me a push and helped me get going, and I did that for a little while, and then I could get myself going. But it was precious. I didn't even realize that was way ahead of the curve. I've been way ahead of the curve in a lot of things, and I was very preoccupied with trying to make myself feel good. And it was a life lived for the pursuit of pleasure, even putting the stamp of Jesus on my life. Now I understand his Hebrew reference is Yeshua, and he also is known by Yahweh, the living word, the living water, the way, the truth, and the life, the great I am, the Alpha and Omega, knowing the end from the beginning. Wow, now you know why I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. Anybody that wants to put the hurt on me has got to have God's permission. I met at a random supposed meeting last night. I met somebody that actually worked security for Air Force One, interestingly enough. And I've had some very interesting meetings in the last week. So part of where that comes in, the AI recognizes when I'm outside of Best Buy and I'm talking with a person I looked familiar. However, it was a very dynamic interaction. Anyway, the artificial intelligence recognizes the location where the two people proceeded from a different destination, and the phones haven't been in close proximity to one another. Artificial intelligence has an insatiable appetite for data. Now, as powerful as artificial intelligence is, God knows it all, like I say again and again and again. So I'm not afraid. Now, we do have a system of control. The Terminator looks pretty scary. We've seen the movie, The Matrix. We've got the agents and all that. There's a lot of allegory there. What I want you to consider, though, is especially in 2000, in the leading up to Y2K, we automated a lot of switching. A lot of switches were installed to regulate the power generation and distribution. Hey, it's a nice day. It's going to be 90 degrees or so here today and sunny. Now imagine in the middle of November or December or so, or January, that's typically when it's pretty cold, right in the heartland in Wisconsin with 110 below wind chill. Cut the power. How long do you think people would live through that? Maybe a week? Some would have fireplaces, wood burners, pellet stoves. Some may just, if you've got high efficiency natural gas, you've got to have electricity to make it work. How are you going to survive when the lights go out in your area if that happens to you, or to, you know, when you're alive? 7 people per second no longer have the human experience. We're all eternal beings having a temporary human experience. That's about 100 million people per year. So when we look at an event like the Bahamas and the Hurricane Dorian, obviously a Weather Wars artificial intelligence manipulated storm. Yeah, maybe you didn't know that, but there's declassified weather modification. You can check it out. It's on my channel. Anyway, they talked about 7 people died at first. I'm like, are you kidding? Look at that place. There are people, they will never know where they went, but thousands. Well, anyway, in the time frame that we were just looking at the TV, the clock is running. Every second that goes by, 7 people per second worldwide perish. Now, roughly 42 million or so of those souls are aborted children. They never had a chance to choose. Oh, it's a woman's right to choose. What about all the female babies that were ripped out of their mother's wombs, and some of them may be even integrated into cloned food or personal hygiene products, youth generating or restoring personal hygiene products. So you can look it up. They use fetal tissue. Planned Parenthood uses that tissue in the process of personal hygiene products. Other companies have been found to use DNA from babies to make savoring and seasonings. It's ghastly, but even with all that going on, the evil entities that are basically the fallen ones inhabiting the fallen angels, as accounted for in Genesis 6, they can inhabit and do inhabit people and lead human beings to do really evil things to the rest of humanity. So this is more than something that is motivated by greed and control of this population. It's the ultimate battle that is going on between the creator of this world and the one who spoke it into existence, as accounted for in the book of Genesis, and the fallen one that was Lucifer, that was cast out of heaven. He and a third of the angels were cast out of heaven. In this battle that we're in, we've got God's family and Satan's family. How about that? And you can argue about, does a fallen angel become a demon? Can they actually? Yeah. Does a clone entity have a soul? I don't know, but it can be an avatar that something wicked this way comes. The art mimicking reality, or reality mimicking art. It's art. There's an overlay, very convoluted, with predictive programming to inoculate people from the horror that's going to be unleashed on them. And it isn't like, well, it's interesting. I'll be speaking at the Skyfall conference. I speak wherever I go, right? Even when this physical me is no longer here, the digital me can be up for quite some time, and the impact that God has used to make a difference in others' lives through me goes on, even if AI could take down every link I've ever shared and every trace of me that it could eradicate. There's still people that have been impacted. Now, to go to how you can have a powerful outreach, one of the ways is to wear the name of your channel or one that you want to promote. If you like the idea of the truth, and I know I do, that's why I wear the truth shirt wherever I go. And I'm driving a car that's labeled up with YouTube Truth on it. And so there's quite often a curiosity that people have to try and understand, well, what does this freak show meaning of me think the truth actually is? Oh, he believes the earth isn't a globe? Yeah, I know it's not a globe. It's not even possible that people can live upside down on a spinning water sphere, right? Where can a wind chime hang upside down? Where can people walk upside down in relationship to one another? None of it adds up. When I heard it as a child, that there were people upside down in relationship to other people, it didn't make sense to me. Well, it still doesn't. In that, why would people believe it? Therein lies the issue. Is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 says to everybody and all spiritual entities forever, they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion. So no amount of creativity in link sharing is going to, or persuasive speech is going to overcome God helping somebody to believe the lie they apparently want to believe. Paul's letter to the Corinthians says the gospel is foolishness to those that are perishing. I have not forsaken my mission of proclaiming the gospel to the ends of the earth around the clock. Au contraire. Because of me connecting with a group of people that love the truth more than anything else and are willing to put their life on the line like me, bam, they share it. They share it. I recently shared the video that about 1,000 of my current Facebook friends are connected directly because of. That's the Infinite Earth post of the local sun. And with all the variety of occurrences of that particular video clip, it's about 1 million views and over 20,000 shares. And that's one of the things that I'm going to be talking at Skyfall. It's not just the beauty of the sun appearing in the clouds. This has been a worldwide outreach that I've engaged in since 2014, using creative methods and development that have taken on some pretty interesting proportions. You could follow my digital trail. AI does. It doesn't know everything. God knows everything. So what I wanted to encourage people to do is really examine the truth and seek it with all your heart, because that's what it's going to require to actually, as best I can tell, be born again. It's not that I had woke up one day and picked myself up by my own bootstraps. It wasn't like that. When I looked in the mirror, and mirrors have a lot to do, it's a lot of metaphors in the mirrors with the Matrix, okay? I have my own breakdowns of that too, and I shared videos where it talks about it. But when I looked in the mirror and I saw that I was struggling so much with the flesh, my passion, my physical desire to make myself happy in whatever way I could. Some people do it with philanthropy, giving away millions and billions, or donating their time and money and effort and stuff to help others. That can be an effort. That can be self-effort also. So initially, a tire kicker that wants to dismiss somebody like me as a whack job can say, you're a drug addict. You needed Jesus. I'm good. You got it going on. Yeah, look at what I do. Well, I'll tell you what I do isn't enough to get me to heaven. What I really enjoy, now that I'm actually born again, is to have a passion, purpose, an eternal perspective, and the power to do what I could not do, and the pleasure to enjoy it all, even in the midst of tremendous opposition. Telling the truth, as best I can tell, is a revolutionary act. The last 4 digits of my phone number are 1776. They have been for about 20 years now. The area code and the prefixes have changed, but that was always important to me. And now I understand that's a number I've had with me for a long time, so I'm sticking with it. I'm not an Illuminati shill or plant or troll. What I am is a child of God that's actually born again. Not just somebody that says I love Jesus and I slip my hand up. I'm actually born of the Spirit. The creator of this world lives in and through me. If you want to use it's just amazing to me. So God's character and evidence of his essence is visible within the creation. The Gospel of John is so powerful, talking about the need to be born again and what it looks like if it has or hasn't happened. Okay, so that's a big deal. If the Spirit of God isn't living in an individual, they're spiritually dead according to Scripture. I was a dead man walking, and I did not know it. I didn't know it because I was fully immersed. I cried. I had experiences. I was dedicated, rededicated, did all the stuff that's supposed to make it happen. It didn't happen for me that way. And as soon as I was actually born again, I wanted to find out, who can I blame for this? Was it the teaching that I was listening to? Was it what I believed? What I found out is that it went all the way to the top. The Creator himself, my Heavenly Father, had a different plan for me. I've survived suicide. I've survived attempts on my life, including these own hands that prayed with our sons, right after I took a bottle and a half of Tylenol PM, prayed with them and went upstairs, and I was going up there to wake up in the arms of Jesus after a few hours. Well, I succeeded. I was successful at not killing myself. Okay, the helicopter that took me for a ride that night crashed and killed everybody on it within a month later. There's been a bullseye on me for a long time. If Satan could have taken me out, he would have. He can't touch me. So you might want to get that notification bell activated and see when I go live to see what's going on. Like I mentioned in my earlier video, from what I understand now, you've got to have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube to go live on YouTube mobile. That means you're using a mobile device. It's another camera and device that you can use. However, Facebook, from what I understand, you can go live at any time. It might be a great security measure. I mean, I know how to go live in a heartbeat. I don't have, all I need to do is hit live and show the camera. If somebody means harm, I'm saying they're seeing you right now. You're visible if something's going down. So I, just so you know, that's a practice. If you've got a supposed home invader, you can say, you're on camera right now. You ought to run away. if it got to that. But my point with all of this is what you can do is you can go live on Facebook. Maybe you just want to show a beautiful sunset or a sunrise, and then download it to a computer and then upload it to YouTube. That's a way to circumvent that. So anybody can go live. The other thing you can do is take your mobile device and hit record and then upload it to YouTube. That works too. Now, I was surveyed by YouTube to find out how I feel about it. Well, I appreciate having a worldwide platform that I've been able to share what I believe the truth is with millions of people. Me personally, conservatively, this face of mine and voice of mine have been heard and seen by over 40 million people on videos that are verifiable. I didn't make the video. I don't get 2 pennies to rub together from being in those videos. What I get is a great sense of satisfaction of boldly exposing the reality of the world we live in. This whiskey jug, the Crown Royal, I asked Logan Paul, I said, do you believe Jesus turned water into wine? He said, I don't know. I said, well, I'll tell you, I know he turned whiskey into water for me. How about that? I said to Logan, what are you going to do when the truth is right in front of you? And I just don't mean the truth mobile and my shirt. I mean the reality of the world we live in, the spiritual battle that's going on. So what if he's got a corporate sponsor and gets $1 million or more a month to have fun, you know, being a 24-year-old guy, just yucking it up and making fun of people that are like me, seeking the truth and telling the truth? Oh, well, how's that going to last for you for eternity? I would not trade, and I'm not even angry with them, because what I'm going to say here is I would not trade all the money and stuff in the world for what I actually have. New life in Christ. All the stuff is not going to matter. My retirement plan, or basically it's like this. What God is doing in and through me is gold. It's not something I worked up on my own and hope he likes it. I hope you like this. This is what I did for you. No, what it is he's doing in and through me what I could not even think of doing myself. So I'm storing up riches in heaven where moth and rust can't destroy. It takes less than a day to hear the entire New Testament. Did you know that? I've done it thousands of times. I've had people question me, how can you do that? How can you do that? In a day, hear the entire New Testament. I can listen to it when I'm awake or asleep. I have awesome dreams, too. I eat healthy and exercise. That's a big deal, too. Garbage in, garbage out. I'm keeping the garbage out of my eyes, my ears, my mouth as best I can, and off of my skin. I'm bathing in highly purified, carbon-filtered, reverse osmosis drinking water, and yes, I add some baking soda from time to time, a cup of it, and a cup of boron, which is borax. It helps kill, those 2 products help kill body fungus. And there are many, like myself, who believe that cancer is a parasite, is a fungus. And you can see what baking soda or borax will do to fungus. Kills it deader than a hammer. And so when the water absorbs into my skin and replaces the liquid that's in my body, some of it. We're about 70% water or so. If I bathe in just the purified water without anything else in it, the water soaks in. I've got a digital scale outside the bathtub. I've had baths where I've gained or lost over 7 pounds, 7 to 10 pounds. So like today, I had a cup of baking soda, cup of borax, and a quarter cup of coconut oil in the water, and then a quarter cup I tossed down me. It's brain food. We're looking at, think about it like this. If you go to the video that talks about, Chris Maple did the video Framing the World channel, I believe the name of the channel is, The Great Culling, talking about water fluoridation. Some people think that they created a way to get rid of their toxic waste. Well, that would be one way of looking at it. I believe it's more like they wanted to create toxic products like aluminum cookware that had a toxic, not even a side effect, the result of the toxicity that they needed to get rid of. They integrated into the water supply, which further toxifies humanity. If you're wondering if fluoride is toxic, read the back of your toothpaste tube. It'll clue you in. If you swallow more than a pea-sized amount, you should contact poison control. Wow. If you take a glass, like a 12-ounce glass, fill it up with ice that was made with tap water, that process of freezing and thawing will precipitate the solids out of it. In California, it was like 3/8 of an inch of pasty sludge. What is that stuff? Here, that was like 550 parts per million. Here we've got, in this area, a lot of sodium because we're so close to the ocean, about 190 parts per million of stuff. But that doesn't even pick up the chemicals per se. And so I'm a repository of studying and retrieving a lot of information because I care about where people will spend eternity. Okay, so when I'm cleaning my body up with the highly purified carbon filtered water, I'm leveraging the reverse osmosis system in my laundry room that I fill up the 5-gallon water jugs with. I have it on top of my washing machine. When the jug overflows, and it will, then it ends up going into the washing machine. I'll use that to clean clothes. I want to show you something. Now I could park in the middle of a very sunny parking lot, or I could park right here. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'll park like this temporarily, and then I'll straighten out when it's time. So I'm not hogging all 3 spots or 4 spots. There's a lot of ways to do things. I try to find workarounds, work around the censorship. There's censorship from top to bottom, bottom to top. Individuals may not want a link shared on their channel like that I would put there, so that's personal independent censorship. When you type in a search, or when I do, and it shows that there's maybe 1.5 million pages of results, how many of those do you pour through to find the result you're looking for? Really? A few? Okay. So back years ago, it was easier to find the information I was looking for. Because I have some of the liked videos that I found a decade ago. Just so you know, we're not in a decade ago search results anymore. So my liked video playlist actually has millions. Here's what I found. Uh-oh, she thinks I'm talking to her. My liked video playlist has millions of occurrences of it because it's on my photo album on Facebook with links to videos. Mind-blowing stuff. Like the nose of a jet plane flying through Tower Number 2 on 9/11. That's not possible. You can't fly an aluminum fuselage, although it's reinforced, you can't fly it through steel reinforced concrete. it's not possible. CGI, it makes it possible. Look at the movie Inception. Look at the movie Gravity, The Terminator, The Matrix. The Matrix was a cutting-edge metaphorical example of the reality of the world that we live in. That bucket of goo that Neo was in, you're looking at my bucket of goo right here, but mine got the upgrade. It didn't get like Elon Musk talking about neural lace getting uploaded into a human sleeve, or getting learning to do like what Neo was able to do in learning things. They actually have technology to clone individuals, to clone pets and people and all of that. We have really bizarre, I showed some videos where I took this flashlight and shot it up at the up in the sky, and can see the nanoparticulate that's there. Some of the material is conductive, and other is it develops into Morgellons in some people, an overgrowth of this control mechanism that they're integrating into humanity. It's you can look at Carnicom Institute. Some of Clifford's videos were on my playlist. I found them like 8 years ago. I had this fibrous discharge. It looked like a pimple, but it had polyfibers in it. I wanted to find out, what the heck is that? Well, I found out what it was. It's nanoparticles. And a decade ago, I thought nanotechnology was cool. Wow, little mini robots. And then when they talk about co-opted insects, the fabric of our experience is being contaminated with self-replicating nanotechnology. And then with 5G and wireless and in the electrical grid that's all around us, and LED lights. I mean, I was on my, it's a network of control. It's a network of, if there's a car driving around without a human being in it, and it's a better driver than the people that are smoking cigarettes and drinking, or maybe they're just a wonderful person that never smoked and doesn't drink alcohol and doesn't do any of that. Maybe they're just a wonderful person. Well, they need to be born again too. Anybody needs to be born again to even see the kingdom of heaven. So the truth isn't based on popular opinion. It's not popular, and it's not an opinion. It's just the truth. So truth and reality, I believe, are interchangeable. So if you think, if somebody, not you, I'm sure, but somebody might think that I was crazy for believing that we don't live on a globe, a spinning, wobbling, gyrating, oblate spheroid. Why would I ever think that I would live on one of those? Where's all the upside down stuff, videos of it? Well, I created beams. That's what I call them when I would take my camera and flip the lens upside, flip the camera upside down or sideways. You might think, what is that guy doing? Well, what I'm trying to help you to realize is the absurdity of the upside down world. It doesn't exist except in the imagination. The space that NASA goes to is your imagination. And even those of us that are outing the system, I try and figure out new ways of exposing that. So there you go. Today, once again, some mind-blowing video of the sunrise. Just absolutely gorgeous. They're never the same. They're never the same. I've got like over 1,000, maybe 1,500 videos that I've created myself. You might like some of them, want to share them. The other 1,500 and so videos are created by talented documentary producers, TED Talks, and different other videos that are exposing some of what I believe the reality of this world is. And so to truly be free and to be awake and aware of what's going on and not be afraid, priceless. This is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. When I get done at Best Buy here and I get back home, I will download and upload it to YouTube, just like you could if you want to do that. You could take a video if you wanted, a mobile device, do a live Facebook recording of a YouTube video that you want to share, and you can make it your own. You can download and upload like that. What I've done largely is when I like a video, rather than me download it and have a couple of views like a lot of my videos, there will be millions of views. So when they're talking about when the discussion of artificial intelligence is being talked about, and there's millions of views and hundreds of thousands of likes, my channel has videos with a combined viewing of over 1 billion views. You could add it up if you want to. See if I'm living in a dream world. We're all living in a computer-generated dream world of sorts. Much of humanity is programmed and deceived. We're all programmed, including myself. The programming that I subject myself to now is, best I can tell, a high concentration of the truth, the opposite of what poison is. Like a rat poison is mostly healthy nutrition and a little bit of toxicity to kill the rat. What I prefer is to reduce or eliminate as much of that toxicity as possible from what I think about, what I look at, even when somebody says something, I wonder, is that true? With the law of non-contradiction, opposing views cannot both be right. However, they could both be wrong. How about that? The truth and reality are interchangeable. Is what you believe the truth, or just what you want to believe? My challenge to you is to seek the truth with all your heart. Thank you so much.